Welcome to the Deep Dive. So today, maybe forget Paris or Rome for a sec. We're taking a plunge into Albania. It's this European country that often flies under the radar, but wow, it's packed with history, culture, and honestly, some amazing scenery. We've been digging through this really comprehensive travel guide, and if you're someone who likes to get, the real scoop on a place quickly, understand what makes it unique, then stick around.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Albania is definitely more than just pretty landscapes, though it certainly have those. It's this place where so many layers of history, ancient, recent, sometimes pretty intense, have sort of piled up. And this guide we looked at, it really showcases that. You see ancient sites right alongside traces of its more modern history, all in this stunning natural setting. So our mission here is to pull out the key stuff, the essentials that give you a real feel for Albania as a travel destination.
Okay, sounds great. So let's say you're thinking, right, Albania maybe this year. First question, always, when's the best time to actually go?
Good question. The guide lays out the climate pretty clearly. It's typically Mediterranean. So think hot, dry summers, perfect for hitting the coast, and then, generally mild, wetter winters.
Okay, classic Mediterranean then.
Pretty much. And the guide definitely flags the peak summer season, like June through August, maybe early September. That's prime time for the Albanian Riviera, for that beach vacation vibe.
Right, sun, sea, the whole deal. But what if you're not big on crowds? Maybe looking for something a bit quieter?
Yeah, good point. The guide mentions the shoulder season, so spring, like April, May, into early June, and then autumn, say late September and October. These are painted as really pleasant times to visit. Weather's still good, often warm, but things are generally less crowded, maybe a bit more relaxed.
That sounds appealing. More room to breathe.
Exactly. And interestingly, the guide gives a little mention to winter sports, too, up in the mountains. So it's not just a summer spot.
Huh, didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, so it covers all bases, pretty much. Let's get into some specific places. Tirana, the capital, is where the guide starts. What's the first impression?
Tirana comes across as really dynamic, a capital city that's buzzing but also visibly carries its past. The guide points out this incredible mix of architecture. You see Ottoman traces, grand Italian buildings, and then these, starker Soviet-era structures, all kind of side by side.
A real melting pot of styles.
Definitely. It suggests a city that's been through a lot and isn't hiding it.
And smack bang in the middle is Skanderbeg Square. That name, Skanderbeg, seems really important in Albania.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh.
Ejircek Kastrioti Skanderbeg, he's the national hero. And the square is described as the absolute heart of the city. A huge central space. The National History Museum is right there, too. The guide suggests it's like the perfect starting point to understand the sweep of Albanian history.
Makes sense. Get your bearings historically and geographically.
Right.
Now, something that caught my eye was the Daci Express cable car. That sounds like a must-do.
Yeah, it sounds fantastic. It's presented as this easy way to just escape the city buzz. You get whisked up Dashti Mountain for these supposedly incredible panoramic views. You see all of Tirana, the surrounding hills, the whole landscape.
Nice. That contrast between city energy and quick access to nature.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And then there's the Ploku district. The guide hints it has a pretty unique backstory.
Unique is one word for it. It's described now as this really trendy area full of cafes, bars, shops, super lively.
But the guide makes a point of saying during the communist regime under Enver Hoxha, this entire area was completely forbidden, off limits to ordinary Albanians. It was reserved for the party elite.
Wow, what a turnaround.
Isn't it? From a forbidden zone to the center of nightlife.
Yeah.
It tells you a lot about the changes Albania has gone through.
Definitely. Okay, moving on from the capital, the guide takes us south to Berat, City of 1,000 Windows. That name really paints a picture.
It really does. And it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, which straight away tells you it's special. The guide emphasizes the Ottoman architecture, how incredibly well preserved it is. It sounds quite different from Tirana, maybe more historically cohesive.
And the Berat Castle dominates the view, right? But it's not just ruins.
No, and this is fascinating. People still live inside the castle walls.
Get out. Really?
Yeah, the guide makes a big point of that. It's a living citadel. So you wander these narrow cobblestone streets, and there are homes, churches, mosques, all still in use. Plus the Honor-Free National Museum, famous for its religious icons, is up there too.
That sounds amazing. History that's still alive.
Exactly. And then you have the Mangalam and Korika neighborhoods below the castle on opposite sides of the river.
Those are the ones with the windows.
That's the image, yeah. Those iconic whitewashed Ottoman houses climbing up the hillside with rows upon rows of windows looking out, also part of the UNESCO site. Very distinctive.
Okay, another UNESCO site is next. Gjirokastër, also known for Ottoman architecture. How does it differ from Berat, according to the guide?
Well, Gjirokastër is often called the City of Stone because many of the roofs are traditionally made with stone slates. It gives it a slightly different, maybe more austere look than Berat. It's also described as an open-air museum. Again, incredibly well-preserved Ottoman-era houses, steep cobblestone streets, very atmospheric, apparently.
And another castle.
Yep, Gjirokastër Castle looms over the city. Big fortress, amazing views. Sounds like it has a military museum inside, too.
And there's another museum there with a significant connection.
Yes, the Ethnological Museum. It's housed in the building where Enver Hoxha, the former communist dictator, was born. The guide says it now showcases traditional Gjirokastër life, furnishings, clothes, tools. So it's a glimpse into local culture, but with that unavoidable historical echo.
Right. Interesting juxtaposition there. Okay, let's switch gears completely. From historic towns to the coast, the Albanian Riviera. This is probably what many people picture first.
Probably, yeah. And the guide really sells it. Beautiful beaches along the Ionian Sea, that incredibly clear turquoise water. It specifically mentions Samo, down south near Butrint. Known for being quite beautiful, maybe a bit more serene, with little islands you can swim or boat to.
Sounds idyllic. But what if you want a bit more action? Nightlife, maybe.
Then the guide points you towards Dirmi. That seems to be the hub for a younger crowd. Beach bars, music, that kind of thing. Vlori is also mentioned as a larger coastal city, good base, lots of swimming spots, so there are options depending on your style.
And quieter spots, too.
Oh yeah, places like Himara and Jail Beach are flagged as maybe a bit more laid back, still gorgeous, but perhaps less developed or crowded than the main hotspots. And you can't talk about the Riviera without mentioning the Yagara Pass.
Ah, yes, the scenic drive.
The guide basically says it's spectacular, a winding mountain road with these absolutely breathtaking views down over the coastline. Sounds like a highlight in itself.
Definitely need a car for that, I imagine.
Oh, for sure. We'll get to getting around later, but yeah.
Okay, near Kinel, you mentioned Butrint, another UNESCO site, right? This one sounds ancient.
Properly ancient, yes. But Trent is presented as one of Albania's absolute treasures. It's an archaeological park on this sort of peninsula. And it's got layers upon layers of history. There are Greek ruins, a Roman theater and bathhouses, Byzantine walls and churches, even Venetian towers.
Wow, like a walk through different civilizations?
Exactly that. And the guide also highlights the setting. It's within this really lush, green, wetland national park. So it's history meets nature.
Sounds incredible. Okay, from the coast, let's head way up north. The Accursed Mountains. Even the name sounds dramatic.
Doesn't it? Bishket I Namuna in Albanian. And yeah, this is presented as a totally different Albania. Wild, rugged, remote. It's prime territory for serious hiking and trekking. Think jagged limestone peaks, deep glacial valleys, crystal clear rivers and lakes. Proper mountain scenery.
Sounds intense. Are there specific areas the guide recommends?
The Detha National Park is a major focus. The village of Detha is described as a key base for hikers. From there, you can do famous treks like the one to the Blue Eye or Siri I Coulter. Not the coastal one, this is a mountain spring, this stunningly blue natural pool. And the guide also mentions Valbona Valley, another beautiful area. It talks about the traditional stone houses, the sort of timeless rural lifestyle you can still glimpse up there.
A real contrast to the Riviera, then.
Absolutely. Shows the diversity of the country.
Okay, all this exploring, I'm getting hungry. What does the guide say about Albanian food?
Right. Albanian cuisine sounds delicious, actually. It's described as a real blend of Mediterranean influences. Think olive oil, lemons, herbs, and Balkan heartiness. Bayrak gets an immediate mention, of course. That flaky, savory pastry filled with cheese, spinach, meat. Sounds like perfect walking fuel.
Oh yeah, I've heard of Bayrak. What about main dishes?
Tabakosi is highlighted. It's baked lamb with rice in this rich yogurt sauce. Sounds unique. And for gisse, a dish with peppers, tomatoes, onions, and gizi, which is like a salty curd cheese. Often served sizzling in an earthenware dish.
Sounds hearty and flavorful.
Definitely. And naturally, along the coast, the guide raves about the fresh seafood. Grilled fish, octopus, prawns, simple, fresh Mediterranean style.
And to drink.
Regesi's mentioned the strong fruit brandy that's common across the Balkans. And the guide also notes that Albanian wine is starting to get more recognition. Worth trying, apparently.
Good to know. Okay, last key piece. Practicality. Getting around Albania. What's the advice?
The guide says there's a network of buses connecting the main towns and cities. And then there are the famous furgons.
Furgons.
Yeah, they're basically shared minivans or minibuses. They run on sort of semi-fixed routes, but often without strict timetables. You just kind of hop on and off. Sounds like an adventure in itself.
Huh, maybe.
Yeah.
But reliable.
They get you places, apparently, but maybe not ideal if you're on a tight schedule or want to get off the beaten path. For that, the guide strongly recommends renting a car.
Right, especially for the Riviera Drive or exploring the mountains.
Exactly. It just gives you that freedom and flexibility to stop where you want, explore smaller villages, access trailheads, really make the trip your own. Roads have improved a lot, but some can still be challenging, so it advises caution.
Okay, that makes sense. Flexibility is key sometimes.
Definitely.
Well, this has been really illuminating. Going through the guide, Albania emerges as this incredibly multifaceted place.
It really does. You've got this deep, accessible history from ancient Greeks to Ottomans to the 20th century. You've got the stunning coastline. You've got these dramatic mountains and a distinct culture and cuisine.
It feels like it offers so much, maybe precisely because it hasn't been on everyone's radar for as long as some other European destinations.
I think that's a big part of its appeal, isn't it? The sense that you're discovering something a bit less polished, perhaps, but maybe more authentic. The guide certainly paints a picture of a country that rewards the curious traveler.
It really does. That sense of potentially finding a real undiscovered treasure in Europe. For anyone listening who wants an adventure that's maybe a bit different, a bit more unexpected, Albania seems like a serious contender.
Absolutely. A unique blend, definitely worth considering.